Sometimes history only sings the songs of those who reach the pinnacle of victory. But there are stories that remained incomplete even before they began, that ended as soon as they started. There is a unique pain hidden in them. Such heroes who in just 16 years of their youth accomplished what centuries together could not. Their stories are filled with such compassion and valor that they remain etched in memory for ages. Abhimanyu is one such name. He had neither the joy of victory nor a long life. Yet his sacrifice was so great that an entire chapter of the Mahabharata is written in his name. A warrior who even in defeat was never truly defeated. This is the story of Abhimanyu, son of Arjuna, nephew of Vishnu, and the immortal symbol of bravery. This is the 6th chapter of the great warriors of the ages, Abhimanyu. The story of Abhimanyu's birth begins in the heavenly realms themselves. It is said that Vakasa, the son of the moon god, had to incarnate on earth so that he could aid in the destruction of evil. But this incarnation came with a condition. He would remain on earth for only 16 years. With tearful eyes, the moon god gave his permission to send his son. And thus, the birth of an immortal warrior was destined. The son was born to Arjuna and Subhadra, in whose blood flowed archery and valor. Great warriors like Krishna and Balarama became his uncles, and the Yadava clan shaped his childhood. From childhood itself, Abhimanyu had a unique aura. He learned the art of warfare in Dwarka with Krishna and Balarama. Arjuna imparted to his son the sacred mantras of archery, and his bow, Raudra, became the symbol of his valor. Bhishma, the great warrior of the Mahabharata, considered him extremely fortunate. That is, a warrior who could single-handedly stop an entire army. It is said that when Subhadra was pregnant, Arjuna told her the secret of breaking the Chakravyuh. Abhimanyu was in the womb, and every word was being etched into his head. He learned how to enter the Chakravyuh formation. But when it came to the way out, Subhadra fell asleep, and thus Abhimanyu's knowledge remained incomplete. His life was like a riddle where there was a way in, but the door to exit never opened. But Abhimanyu was not just a warrior. He was also a son and a husband. He was married to Uttara, the daughter of King Virat. At the time of the wedding, Krishna himself showered his blessings upon him, and when Uttara gave birth to Parikshit after Abhimanyu's death, Krishna saved him with his divine Sudarshan Chakra. It was Parikshit who later kept the Puru dynasty alive. In this way, even though Abhimanyu's lineage was on the verge of ending, it became immortal for eternity. In the battle of Kurukshetra, Abhimanyu displayed his valor brilliantly. On the very first day, he broke Bhishma's banner and defeated Duryodhana's son Lakshman. Day after day, his arrows struck the enemies like lightning. He defeated Shalya, Vikana, and many other kings. He became such a pillar for the Pandava army that he struck fear into the hearts of the enemy. A warrior of only 16 years, and people began to compare him to Arjuna himself. And then came the 13th day of the war, the day that made Abhimanyu immortal. Arjuna was held up in another corner of the battlefield by Sushama and his army. Then Dronacharya cleverly formed the Chakravyuh to capture Yudhishthira. It was a formation that was difficult to enter, but almost impossible to exit. Yudhishthira was in a crisis, and he told Abhimanyu that only you can break through this formation. Abhimanyu bowed his head and said, "Father, I will enter, but perhaps I may not be able to come out." Just imagine, a 16-year-old youth stared death in the face and still did not turn away from his duty. He entered the Chakravyuh. In the first circle, he wounded Duryodhana. In the second circle, he drove Karna back. He scattered Ashwatthama, Shakuni, Shalya, and Kripa in all directions with his arrows. He killed Duryodhana's son on the battlefield and made Karna's son bite the dust. The speed of his arrows was like lightning. His chariot became a storm in the middle of the Chakravyuh. But because of the boon received from Shiva, Jayadratha prevented the Pandava army from entering. Abhimanyu was left alone, facing the entire Kaurava army. The rule of war was that only one warrior would fight at a time. But the Kauravas violated dharma. Bhishma, Karna, Drona, Ashwatthama, Duryodhana, and Shakuni, 6 great warriors, attacked Abhimanyu all at once. His horses were killed. His chariot was destroyed. His bow was snatched away. Even then, he picked up a sword. When the sword broke, he took up a mace. When the mace broke, he tore off a wheel from a chariot and began spinning it like Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra. The roar of a lone hero echoed throughout Kurukshetra. But in the end, when his body was exhausted, the son of the wicked ruler struck his head with a mace. Abhimanyu fell to the ground and a hush fell over the battlefield. But did Abhimanyu lose? No. he showed that duty is greater than victory or defeat. He showed that though his age was young, his resolve was infinite, and that is why his sacrifice became immortal for ages to come. His son Parikshit ascended the throne and his lineage continued, but the greatest legacy was that of his sacrifice, which still burns brightly in the hearts of every youth today. In today's era, when challenges arise before us, we can all learn from Abhimanyu. In his 16 years, he showed that true bravery means fulfilling one's duty, no matter how great the consequences may be. Abhimanyu emerged victorious even in defeat because his story lives on to this day. And that is why, for ages to come, whenever bravery is spoken of, Abhimanyu's name will echo as an immortal legend. Abhimanyu's story teaches us that bravery is not just about the outcome of victory. True bravery is revealed when a young person does not abandon the path of duty until their last breath. His valor was in his arrows and his sacrifice lay deep within his heart. Even at the age of 16, the sacrifice he made became an immortal chapter of the Mahabharata. Ages change, the dust of time covers everything, but the tales of such warriors are never erased. Every era gives birth to its own Abhimanyu, who makes sacrifices not only on the battlefield, but also in the struggles of life. This reminds us that the greatest battles are not fought outside, but within ourselves. And this was just a beginning, because within the pages of the Mahabharata, there are many more such warriors whose stories still lie dormant somewhere. The next chapter will take us to that hero whose very act of drawing his weapon would make the reign of injustice tremble. He neither bowed to the attachment of friends nor feared the threat of enemies. His name became immortal as the protector of righteousness and truth. Who was he, and how did his legend echo through the ages? This secret will be revealed in the next chapter of the Great Warriors of the Ages. Because these are not just stories, they are memories that become immortal in the silence of time. And now the time has come to awaken them once again.